you want it.
What's cooking this weekend, ladies and gentlemen? The Memorial Day weekend show from CRN Digital Talk Radio. Michael Horn, Paul Stern, and Nancy Gardella is joining us. She's the Executive Director of Martha's Vineyard Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Nancy.
Well, hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being with us. This really kicks off the summertime fun and festivities, does it not?
It certainly does. It's our huge kickoff weekend for the summer.
So what goes on? What's first off, in your specific area there, Martha's Vineyard, what's the weather been like? Is it good? Is it going to be great for the summer? What do you think?
I got to tell you, it's hard to forecast for the whole summer, but right now the weather could not be better. It's 72 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Makes me want to run to the beach right now.
Let's say I fly into Boston. How do I get to Martha's Vineyard?
Well, you can do it two ways. You can fly right from Logan Airport. It's a 30-minute flight right to the vineyard. But if you want to take the more scenic route, you can drive down to Cape Cod or New Bedford and take a beautiful ferry ride across to the vineyard.
So you can fly right into the vineyard itself then, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Wow. So you get air by sea. How about by land?
Well, not yet. Not till we figure out a way to build a nice long bridge.
Can we do that some way? I mean, that would be a project to put people to work, wouldn't it?
That's right, our little own economic stimulus project.
Exactly. All right, so tell us what goes on. Now, specifically this weekend, what do you got going for Memorial Day?
Well, what we have going on is a kickoff of our Artisan Festival. This is handcraft artwork done by a wide variety of vineyard-based artisans. We're talking painting, photography, jewelry, pottery, any kind of handcraft visual arts you can imagine kicks off this weekend on Memorial Day and goes through the summer.
Wow.
We've got a first of what will be community-wide beach clam bakes happening.
Oh.
We've got sightseeing by water with moonlight and sunset water cruises. It's a huge time for fishing and shellfish, and it's also a huge time for bike riding and birding.
Wow. So you've got a lot of stuff going on there, and this is going to go right through the summertime, correct?
It will.
Now, how do we get places to stay? I mean, do you fill up certain times? Are there always rooms available? Is it do we have to plan way in advance? Tell me about it.
Well, you don't have to plan way in advance, but we definitely recommend that you come with a reservation in hand rather than just show up. The best way to find that, quite frankly, is on the Chamber's website, because we've got every place to stay for every budget.
So let's say that I want to go, and I mean, can you go there for a week? Can you go there for a weekend? I mean, you say to have the reservation beforehand, but does it jam up on these busy weekends? Is there some tips of the trade, like once we get there, to get into a restaurant?
The restaurant seats, there's always availability, because luckily here at the Vineyard, we've got families that want to get in early, and then we've got couples that want to take a more leisurely time and get in a little later. In the heat of the summer, in the heat of July and August, we do recommend reservations for the more high-end restaurants, because they're small and they're quaint, and so to get your first choice, you definitely want to make an advanced reservation. But as far as staying on the vineyard, you can plan your trip to the vineyard within a couple of weeks of when you want to come.
Now, what about, anybody do like day trips where they just go there for the day to kind of go around Martha's Vineyard and enjoy and have dinner and then come back?
Absolutely. The nice thing about coming to Martha's Vineyard for the day is that it's a very easy trip from Cape Cod. So we have a lot of Cape Cod visitors who come over for the day, and they do exactly what you say. They hop on the public bus. They see parts of the island that they would never have visited outside of the port communities, grab a bite to eat before catching a late ferry back to Cape Cod.
So the ferries run often then? You're not going to be delayed? There's not going to be huge lines or anything to get to or from Martha's Vineyard?
None whatsoever.
All right, I like that. So now, coming up, I know you got other things, and let's look a little bit ahead now beyond the Memorial Day weekend. Tell me about this event you have called Restaurant Week. That's June 20th through the 24th.
We are so excited because this is only our second ever Restaurant Week.
Wow.
And Restaurant Week is a time where islanders and visitors get out to really taste whatever our chefs have created for this summer. You know, it's the very beginning of summer, the first few days of summer, and our island chefs create 3-course prefixed dinner and lunch menus that are absolutely spectacular and usually showcase not only the fresh catch and the fresh produce from our local farms, but they're usually the most inventive time right at the beginning of the season for our chefs to sort of show off and give people a taste of what the full menu is like.
So these are
so you can eat like high-end, gorgeous meals at bargain basement prices. It's
I
a
like
wonderful
that.
week to be here.
Bargain basement is the key. The 2 key words there that I like. And so most restaurants are participating in this, and they're usually 3-course meals?
They are 3-course
Wow.
meals. Every place that is participating offers a dinner. Most places offer a lunch as well, and the price is so right you can go out twice a day.
Now, do you have people that commute to and from? I mean, people that live on Martha's Vineyard and commute in to the to work and come back home and all that stuff?
You know, I know of a few people who commute to Boston or commute to New York City where they weekend on the vineyard, 3-day weekends on the vineyard. But most people, I think most people either have a summer home here or, you know, because once you get here, you don't want to leave.
It's magical,
you don't want to be
isn't it?
commuting every
but
week.
it's kind of like magical, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of like a little the fairy tale. You go take a ferry to it, and you're in a little fairy tale land for a while.
That's a great way. I might steal that line.
Steal
That's
that
a
line.
great line.
I mean, everybody's there, and we should mention too. There's a beautiful, as you mentioned, the art festival going on in culture. How about like fishing and sailing and beaches? Are great stuff.
Well, you know, we are an island, so there is no shortage of water sports. Whether you like to take a sail, go out deep sea fishing, if you want to do some cast fishing off the shore, you can find every kind of fish, and the fish are moving like crazy right now.
Oh.
So it would be hard, even for an amateur like myself, to not catch a fish at this point.
Isn't this like the right at the tail end of the Gulf, a warm Gulf current, so it kind of like curves off right around that area there?
Exactly. You know your stuff.
I know my stuff. And my worry is now, too, with this oil spill. You haven't seen any evidence of that, I hope, and pray you haven't.
No, we haven't. In fact, there is no indication that that any part of New England or the East Coast will be affected by that tragedy.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that set up over there. What about if you want to do like, well, weddings? I'm sure are the people want to be on the island there. But what about corporate get-togethers and things? You do that as well?
We absolutely do. You know, the nice thing about Martha's Vineyard is that for most people it's a throwback experience to a slower pace, a place where there are no malls, no shopping malls, no big chain stores or big chain hotels. But don't let that quaintness fool you. Anything that you need for your corporate meeting or event can be had right here on the vineyard.
There's no Costco I can go up to and get some workers to work gardening at my house?
Yeah, none of that stuff. No, but what you will have is miles and miles of uninterrupted seacoast.
All right, I'll trade
miles of bike trails, so it's a good trade-off.
Nancy Gardella, I'll trade that. She's the executive director of Martha's Vineyard Chamber of Commerce. What's the website?
MVY.com.
What is that again?
MVY.com.
Thanks for being with us.
Are you tired of